Hey curious kids, Kevin here. Today on A Place Called Space, we are going to learn about the phases of the moon and eclipses. So what's an eclipse? Well, that's when it gets a little bit darker because we block out the sun, or the moon starts glowing red because the earth blocks out some of the sun. So we're going to learn how that happens. We're going to learn how the moon came to be in the first place, and then we're going to use, you see, I'm wearing a Cookie Monster shirt because we're going to learn the phases of the moon with Oreo cookies. I'm super excited for this one. So if you have Oreo cookies, go grab them. Any cookie with cream on the inside, so if it's a vanilla cookie or anything else that you can have cream that you're able to move around, go grab them, and we're going to get into making our phases of the moon with Oreos in just a second. But first off, the moon, right? How was it made? Why do we have a moon in the first place? So when our solar system was forming, there was stuff flying all over the place. So we believe that a Mars-sized object, not actually Mars, but something about the size of Mars, and we call it Theia. So Theia was flying around the solar system, and Earth was just doing its thing, orbiting around the sun, but it didn't have water. It wasn't the Earth that we know it today with our continents and land and people and stuff. But a Mars-sized object was flying through and impacted Earth. It just nicked it, and then when it nicked it, a bunch of stuff came off. So then we got all of these rocks floating around Earth, and eventually they all came together to form our moon. Let's get the Mars-sized object. Theia came in, hit some of Earth spewed out into space, and then it all gathered together to form our moon. So the Earth, parts of the Earth together are the moon. So we're all the same stuff that's out there. Now we see the moon in the night and in the daytime. So the moon doesn't only show itself at night. When I was outside this morning, I saw the moon. It's a half moon right now. I was looking up, I'm like, hey, there it is. Sun's out. See, it's beautiful. It's shining. You can see it coming in the window here. So we don't only see the moon at night. Now that's because it's going around Earth. It's going around Earth, which means sometimes we have sunlight and sometimes we don't. Just at night, it's the brightest thing in the sky when it's there, because the sunlight, if you're the sun, it's coming in and it's bouncing off the moon and going right into our eyes here on Earth. So that's why at night it's the brightest thing, because it's the closest thing to us that's bouncing off light. Because those stars we see are so far away, and even the planets too. But the moon, brightest thing, and that's why it's there. So we are going around Earth every 29 and a half days. So it takes 29 and a half days for the moon to go fully around Earth once. Now we see the same side of the moon always when we look up, right? So that same side of the moon is always pointed towards Earth. So the moon is spinning, but it spins at the same speed, or the same rate, as it goes around the Earth. So it looks to us like it's not moving because we always see the same side. But there's another side to it. The sunlight does touch it. So if you're the sun, all right, and I am me standing here in Los Angeles. So if the moon is right here, so you can see me, I see this side of the moon, but the sun is you. So that means you are putting all of this light onto the moon. So there's no dark side to the moon. We call it the far side. So the sunlight still does reach it, so it does light it up. So we got 29 and a half days for it to go around. We see the same side of the moon at all times. That's called tidally locked. Tidally locked is what the same side of the moon facing each time is. But we see different parts of the moon, right? It's not always a full moon or a little sliver or half of it. There's actually 8 different phases that we go through with our moon in those 29 and a half days. Now this is where we get to jump in using Oreo cookies, where I'm going to teach you about the phases of the moon. All right, now I need to set up my little computer here to show you the right way of doing it. So we'll get rid of this. Boom. Hey, how's it going? So I've got my Oreo cookies here. One second. Gotta get this figured out. Oh, my camera turned off. 1 second. We're gonna make it work, right? So this is the image you're seeing of the Oreos this side. The image you're seeing of the Oreos here is from before, and then my camera turned off. So now I need to get my camera back on so that we can see these. All right, come on, Oreo cookies. You can do it. So, technical problems happen. So I'm trying something new today. Obviously, you see I got 2 cameras. So I'm trying to figure out why it's not working. Where are my Oreo cookies? Where are you? Where's my new? There we go. Okay, so we got part of it. We've got some changes. I gotta click a few buttons here. Clicking a few buttons. Got this one. All right, now we are all set up. All right, thank you for hanging with me on that little technical journey. So we are going to be making our phases of the moon with Oreo cookies. So I love double stuffed cookies. Like the original Oreo just doesn't have enough cream. So we go with the double stuffed. Personally, for me, I even love the mega stuffed. More stuffing, the better. Okay, I may have eaten a couple of these already. But so take out some cookies. So you might need more than 8. It depends on if you break the cookies. So take out some cookies. So I'm going to start with 8. Hopefully I don't break any. You got an extra one just in case. So I got my Oreo cookies. All right, put them aside over here. And then you need a knife. So you can do plastic knife, regular knife, whatever it is, something to move this cream. All right. So our first moon phase. So take your Oreo, take it, and then twist it apart. Twist your Oreo. This is where you might break it. Okay, so here, this is 2 full moons, right? Which doesn't really work. So sometimes you need a second cookie to give it a try. Second cookie. Let's see if I can find a good one. Oh, this one was going to work. So let's twist that Oreo cookie off. Twist it, twist it. There we go. Okay, so there's some cream there, but that's okay because this is a good thing. So just take that Oreo cookie, the one that has some cream on it, and just get rid of the cream. And try to not break your cookie in half when you do it. This is why we got extras. So I'm going to take this one. Take your cream off. This is the fun part. You get to eat Oreos, but don't talk with your mouth full. All right, so mostly got the cream off. You can keep on licking your cream off to make it clear. I'm just going to use my knife to take a little bit of the rest of it off here. So this is our first moon phase. Let's lick it. Here, I'll just use this side. So we got the black Oreo. So this is the new moon. So this is when the light is not illuminating the moon. You can kind of see it, or it's just not there at all. We got the new moon. That's our first moon phase. So we're going to put it up over here, or down over here. So next up, take another cookie, twist it apart like this. Mine are kind of squished together. I got some squished Oreos in here, so you might need a couple extras to make your Oreos work out well. Oh, I'm not doing good twisting my Oreos off. Hopefully you're having better luck than me. Oh, I can feel this one. Oh, that's a good twist. Full twist. Okay, Oreo. So the second phase of the moon that we're going to do with our Oreo cookies is called the waxing crescent. So waxing means it's growing. Because with this one, we don't have anything, right? There's no light on the moon. Now we need to see part of the moon, but we're only going to see a tiny little sliver. So you're just going to take your cutting utensil and do a tiny little sliver there, right? And then you can lick it or eat it. I'm just going to peel it off like this. Oh, I took some of it. Gotta put it back in. So sometimes we have to do a little rocket surgery, is what I call it. So I guess we'll call it moon surgery here, to put it on, to reform my Oreo cookie. So it's okay. Make sure you wash your hands before you do this. I broke my cookie. This isn't turning out too well. So sometimes these things happen. So now we just got a little sliver. A little sliver. Let me make that look better. We call this the waxing crescent. The waxing crescent. So you're just able to see a little sliver of the moon up in the night sky. So that's our next phase. All right. Now, twist apart another Oreo cookie. See if we can get some good twists here. Good twists. Oh, that's a good twist. All right. Now we're seeing more of the moon. So we take less cream off, cut it right in half. We're just going to do half. The next is a half moon, or what we call a first quarter moon. So we got our new moon, our waxing crescent, and then our first half or first quarter moon right here. So we're starting to see more of the moon. It's all there, but the sun is just illuminating different parts. All right. Keep twisting. See if we can keep the good twist going. Good twist. Good twist. All right. So the next one. Now we still aren't seeing the full moon just yet. We still need to take off a little bit. So we're going to take off that sliver that we saw over here. So you're going to do the same cut. Get that sliver. Take it off. And you're leaving most of the cream on and just taking that sliver away. Any of your parents say it's okay, you can totally eat your cream that you're taking off. Just don't talk with your mouth full. Now, this one, so waxing means it's still getting bigger. So this one is called waxing gibbous. Gibbous, what's that? If I wrote it down. Gibbous. Gibbous. Waxing gibbous. Now, what does gibbous mean? Right? Why did we pick this one? So crescent makes sense. Makes sense, right? Because it looks like a crescent, a croissant kind of a thing. So gibbous is an old English word that means like hunched or humpback. So if we look at this cookie here, it's almost like a humpback. It means it's kind of rounded, but still pretty big. So that's why we call it the gibbous. Waxing gibbous, meaning we're getting bigger. Let's continue on. So there's the first 4 moon phases. The next one, take your Oreo cookie, twist it in half. Okay? Sometimes I'm not doing too good in twists here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this cream that I have left over from the other one, and I'm just going to put it on there. I'm going to make a super creamy one. So this is the full moon. This is where we can see all of the moon, right? It's bright. We see the full circle that's there. Full moon. Boom. Got it. All right. So we're halfway done. We're going to repeat the same thing on the other side, but it's going to be opposite. So they're going to look like a mirror. If we were to draw a line right down the middle, it's going to look like a mirror. So let me grab a few more cookies. Since I'm not doing too good at twisting my cookies. So let's try another twist. Boom. Twist, twist, twist. Gotta be gentle. Gotta be gentle. Good twist. All right. I got all these extra Oreos. I guess I'm gonna have to eat them after this. Oh no. Healthy lunch. So we're gonna make this one. So this was the gibbous, right? But instead of waxing, because it was getting bigger, these are called waning. So it's going away, waning gibbous. So you're gonna slice your little crescent. And then get rid of that crescent. Since this one's small, I'm gonna eat it with you. Awesome. And put it on the other side. So it's a mirror. See? These two are pretty much exactly the same, just flipped. So now we gotta move on. We need our next one. So get your twist. Good twist, good twist. And this one is another half moon. This one is what we call the third quarter moon. So we're gonna cut it in half, remove that cream, make it a mirror image. Boom. So there we go. Got the first quarter, third quarter, 2 half moons. We got one more here to complete our moon circle phases. Let's see if I can get a last good twist. Twist, twist, twist. Not that fantastic, but it'll work. We make do. So we got most of the cream here. So what we need is just that little sliver again. I'm gonna cut on this side. So just a little sliver, little sliver, little sliver. Take the rest of that cream off. You can do it with your tongue since you're not talking. I'm just gonna use the knife and breaking my cookies. It's okay, that means like I have to eat all these. I can't put them back and save them for later. So I'll put that cookie back together. Put it over here. And there we go. We got our moon cycles right here. So let's clean this off and let's talk through them again. So I got all these extra cookies. Let's move some of them away so we can focus on the main stuff right here. All right. First one. What do we call this? New moon, right? When it's dark. Then We show a little bit of the moon. We see a little bit, and that's called the waxing crescent. Then we move on. We've got, let me use the knife to point. Then we've got the first quarter right here, or the half moon. All right, then we move on. We're still building, seeing more of the moon. So that is called waxing and waxing gibbous. Remember? Gibbous, this crazy word that means like hunched or humped back, which is why we call it gibbous. Waxing gibbous. Then we move on. We got our full moon. So here's the big, beautiful one, bright in the night sky. It's amazing. It's almost like sometimes it's daylight because it's so bright. Moving on, now the moon starts to hide itself again. So that's waning. So it's moving a little bit further away from the light. So we got waning gibbous, the gibbous word again. It's just fun to say. Gibbous, gibbous, gibbous. Give us more Oreos. Then we've got our third quarter, or another half moon, opposite of this one. Moving on to the last moon phase in the cycle is the waning crescent. And then it goes back to the new moon, and then it repeats this cycle again. So it goes through this cycle every 29 and a half days as it is going around our planet Earth here. So it's going around, you stay in the same spot, but the Earth's spinning, the moon is going around, and then the Earth is going around the sun at the same time. A lot of moving things, which is what causes our moon to be in many of these different phases. Lots of awesome stuff about moons. So, full moon, this one, right here, the best one, fantastic. We have a full moon every 29 and a half days. How long are our months? So February has 28 days, right? I'm gonna move this back, gonna come back to me right here. So February is the only month that has 28 days. Otherwise we have 30 or 31 days. So that means sometimes we can have 2 full moons in a month, and that is called a blue moon. So the second moon, the first one is just normal full moon, the second one is called a blue moon. So if you've ever heard someone say once in a blue moon, that means it's not that frequent that it happens, because you got to line it up just right, where you start with a full moon and then you can end with a full moon. So that's a blue moon. It doesn't actually turn blue. That would be really cool if I did. You're like, oh, that's the second full moon we got because the moon's blue. No, it just means the second full moon in a month. Now, we have a full moon each and every month, and we've got names for them. So we just had one this past month, actually last week. It was cloudy here, it was raining. I wasn't able to look up and see it, unfortunately. I want to tell you, we've got some really cool names for these moons. Now, boom, here's me. Kind of looks weird, but I'm going to play this so now we can see that looks better, right? Full moon names. Kevin J. DeBrune. That's my name, by the way. Middle name, J. Cool. Means James. January. The full moon in January is known as the full wolf moon. It's a wolf moon. That's what January is. For February, snow. It is a snow moon. So we just wanted to come up with names for our full moons, make us feel special. And they have to do with the seasons and the things that are happening in the northern hemisphere. Because when it's winter in the northern hemisphere, it's summer in the southern hemisphere. So down in South America, it's a lot nicer when we have snow. But I'm in California, we don't really have snow here in Los Angeles, but I grew up in Wisconsin, and boy, it gets cold. It's not fun. So February is the full snow moon. And we got March. What is that? That is a worm. It's a worm. It's the full worm moon in March. Then going on to April, this is what we just had. What color is that? That's pink. So it's a full pink moon. Now it's like the blue moon, but it doesn't turn pink, just like the blue moon didn't turn blue. It just means a full moon in April is called the pink moon. So full pink moon, but it still doesn't change color. May is the full flower moon. So I picked a nice spring flower there for us, which we're coming up on shortly. So if you're living in the snow right now, hold on, hang on, just bunker down. You're almost there to spring, and then gets us into summer. June is the strawberry moon. So that's in the summer. You can go to the strawberry fields and start picking some strawberries. Moving on, July is buck. That's a buck. It's like a 30-point buck. It's not 30 points there, but it's a buck moon. So it's a deer. That's a white-tailed deer specifically. So then we got August. What is that? So if you're from the Midwest, you know what this is. That is a sturgeon. It's a freshwater fish. It's in the Great Lakes up there and other lakes that are around Wisconsin and probably Minnesota and Michigan too. Sturgeon. So it's a full sturgeon moon in August. I did not know that before looking this up for today. I was like, sturgeon? Really? That's like, makes me feel good because that's from home. It's from home. September is a harvest. So it's the full harvest moon in September. So we'll start getting this stuff out of the fields at the end of summer, the best growing season. Then we move on. We got October. What are they doing? They're hunting. So this is a hunter's moon. Full hunter's moon is what's going on in October. November, it's our friend there, Beaver. It's a full beaver moon. Looks pretty happy, doesn't he? Yeah. And then the last one, December. What's the one word you think of for December? You're right. Cold, right? It's cold. It's a cold full moon, or full cold moon. It's actually how we say it. That's actually my friend. It's my friend Brittany Schmidt. She is a researcher, she's a scientist, and that photo was taken in Antarctica. So obviously, she's really cold. You can see the ice on her eyelashes. She's all dressed up in her parka. So she does research down in Antarctica. That's the South Pole. So she flies all the way from America down to the South Pole, lives in the really cold frigidness to conduct research about ice worlds. So the best ice world we have here on Earth is down in Antarctica. So she's studying Antarctica to learn more about Europa and Enceladus, Triton. Those are all the cool moons of Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune that might have life. So we go to places on Earth that help us learn about other places in the solar system. Antarctica is one of them. So thanks, Brittany. Appreciate you helping us out. Those are the names of the full moons. There's so many of them, right? We had the wolf, snow, worm, flower, pink, strawberry, buck. See, can you remember them all? I'm struggling because there's so many. Buck, sturgeon, harvest, hunter. We'll come after hunter. Beaver. See that one just like out there, and then cold. All right, so those are our full moons. Now, there's a couple different types of full moons, right? Have you ever heard of the supermoon? Supermoon? So I kind of created a supermoon with my Oreo cookie here, because look how much cream there is on that. It's the best. So that's like a mega stuff. So normal full moon, double stuffed cookie. Mega stuffed cookie would be a supermoon. So the supermoon is when the moon is closer to Earth than it normally is. What do you mean by that? Well, I'm going to show you. So we're going to jump back over here to our cookies. Okay, I'm going to move these cookies over so I can draw on this right here. So if we have right here Earth, all right, then we need our moon. So our moon, let's say, I'm going to draw a dotted line. Okay, so this is exaggerated. So it's the path that the moon takes is not this crazy, but I want to draw it to show you what I mean. So kind of think of it like this. So if this is the moon, right? So we got our moon down here. So see how it's further away from Earth than it would be if our moon was here? See how that's a lot closer? So that's closer than it is here. So the moon isn't going around Earth in a perfect circle. It's not. It's a little like an oval. We call it elliptical. I'll write that word. I'll flip it around for you. Elliptical. So an elliptical orbit is like an oval, because we know what circles are. So we got circle and then an oval. It's kind of like that. So oval and elliptical, that's what we're looking at here. So a supermoon is when it's here at the closest point to Earth. That's why I got my super creamy Oreo cookie here. So that's the supermoon, where just, let's see, where is it? I can get one of these here. I've got a bunch of Oreos. I'm trying to find a good one. There we go. So that over here would be like our normal full moon. See how the cookie's everywhere, right? And then over here, supermoon. So the supermoon appears 14% larger. That's why we got more cream. So it looks in the night sky 14% larger, and then it's 30% brighter. So that means there's more sunlight bouncing off of the moon to give us a really, really bright moon. And that's when it really looks like it's daytime outside. That is when our next full moon, or our super moon is when it's so that close. So we just had our full moon for April. So our next super moon, this one right here, is actually coming in May. It's coming up May 7th is our next super moon. It's coming up super quick because I see there's a comment, when is the next blue moon? The next blue moon is going to be October 31st. So it's Halloween. So we get a Halloween, I'm going away, where'd I go? There we go. Halloween full moon. That's gonna be super creepy Halloween, right? Full moon, but it's great for trick-or-treating, so you can see, make out your costumes, see your friends, run around. It's gonna be a really cool Halloween. So then, we're talking a lot about the moon phases, and I said I was gonna talk about eclipses too, right? So I know that we're going kind of long, so I'm gonna try and make the eclipses really short, and then we'll do a full episode on eclipses at some point. Might be on Thursday, might be a little bit later, because I've got some other awesome topics I want to tell you about. So if you are the sun, if you're the sun, a solar eclipse is when the moon passes in between Earth and the sun. So that is when, you know, it's like the sun gets darker because something breaks the light in front of it. So the moon goes in front of you, blocks out all that light. So on Earth here, it gets dark. So come, see? And it got dark for a little bit. And even if I bring this up, you can see some of the film, some of the camera gets a little bit darker. See on the screen? Gets darker because it's blocking some of the light. So that is a solar eclipse. It's when the moon blocks the sun. Now a lunar eclipse is what gives us a blood moon. Yes, it does turn a little bit reddish from the sunlight going through the Earth's atmosphere. So this one, again, you're the sun. And that is when the moon's here, the Earth passes in front of the sun and blocks all of the light. So none of you, the sunlight, is able to get to the moon, so it looks dark. But we can see it because it's reddish, and that's because some of your light is coming through Earth's atmosphere here, and it's bending through the atmosphere, it's bouncing around, it's scattering. So if you look through water, right, look through water, it's kind of, let me clean this off. So if you look through water, it distorts it, right? It doesn't look the same, or if you look down, things bend, light bounces around. So it's the same thing kind of in the atmosphere, as it's bouncing around and it's scattering, so it comes around and then hits the moon and appears red. And it's a blood moon when we have a full, total lunar eclipse. That's when the Earth is covering all the sunlight, blocking the moon. All right, we will talk about eclipses more, but that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, was the moon phases right here. So we learned about the 8 phases of the moon as it goes around the Earth every 29 and a half days. Got the new moon, waxing crescent, half moon, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, half moon, waning crescent, back to the full moon every single cycle. So hopefully you enjoy this video. If so, please click that thumbs up, click it, tell me you like the video, and then click that subscribe button down here to let me know that you're a fan of A Place Called Space. And if you got any recommendations or ideas that you want to learn about for future videos, drop them in the comments or shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you want to find me. The links are below as well for contacting me. So hope you guys have a great week. Keep looking up.